Hiya, it's Hannah and welcome back to my channel. It has been such a long time since I talked to you guys last. The last time that I spoke to you, so many things were happening and it was just so hard to keep up with video and vlogging and YouTube in general, because when I tell you that life hit very, very hard. So I just want to catch y'all up with what's been happening for the last 5 months since I last recorded, just taking y'all back to the 3 things that were happening in my life and just updating you guys with everything that's going on, and moving forward, what to expect on this channel and the things that I'm learning in life right now. So here it is. Let's get into it. So when we left off, I was still nannying the last video. If you want to watch it, I will link it above or below in the description box. But I was quitting my nanny job, the one that I loved and the one I had only been working about 8 or 9 months in. Life just got really, really busy with that job. It became more demanding than what I initially signed on to do. I was working 12+ hours a day, and that is just not what I signed up for. And so sometimes you just have to know, yes, this is benefiting my life. I'm making great money. This gives me the flexibility to do the things that I want to do. But far as mental health and being able to take care of myself, I just was not able to do all of those healthy things while having this job. I definitely had to learn that it was definitely time to go into transition. So I quit my job, and I took about 2.5 months off before I started diligently seeking out another job. I was on my way for a family cruise, on the way to a family cruise that ended up being so much fun. But I woke up one morning and I was like, I think I'm ready to start looking for the next job that isn't nannying. I had been nannying for about 3 or 4 years. In between there, I sporadically had cafe jobs or just really small little things here and there. But I was ready to find something that was like permanent for the time being and that was not nanny. So I started to seek out infant toddler teacher jobs at daycares or anywhere I could, still work with kids. That morning before we boarded the boat, I applied for about 3 or 4 jobs. About the time I got back from vacation, which was like a week and a half later, I had heard back from Gretchen's House and Child Time. And long story short, Child Time felt like the better option for me at the time, with benefits, the pay, the flexibility with being able to work and have school all at the same time. So it was just a blessing how it just kind of like fell into my lap. And then from there, it was like fingerprinting was done, training was done, and then I was like full-blown working again. So I started working right after I got my wisdom teeth taken out in March. That was another thing that happened. And I was like full-fledged working full-time. And so it has been lots of work, but I also love being able to be around so many young children. I watch any babies between about 7 to 8 months old or all the way up till about 2. So it's a very small window, but I come in contact with so many of the young kids there, and they're just so much fun. They call me Miss Hannah, which is like, oh, I can't wait. So if I decide to be a teacher, I'm like, wow, that's what I'll be called. So that's really exciting. So that is one update. I am now working at a daycare, and it's just been just incredibly amazing. Everybody that I work with is so nice and has been so welcoming. They're so flexible with my schedule, and they also allow me to take any time off that I need to travel or to do things for church. And so overall, it's a great fit. The next thing I want to update you guys was the second thing I talked about in the last video, was me starting school. There's a whole backstory to this that I'll get into a whole nother time. I had a really rough end of 2022, beginning 2023, and I dropped all of my classes just out of just feeling anxiety about school, starting school older. and also not knowing if this is exactly what I wanted to do. So just all these different things that were running through my mind. A long story short, literally a week before, if not days before, school was set to start for the winter semester 2023, early this year, I signed up for classes, went full-fledged 16 credit hours, and did the doggone thing, y'all. I started school. It was perfect timing because I did school and nannying for about a month before I was like, okay, it's time to go. So I quit my job and then I was able to focus on school full-time, full-fledged. And honestly, it was very hard at the beginning, only because I was trying to figure out how to stay organized, because I was learning Canvas, which is what Eastern Michigan uses. That's where I go. And then before then, I went to Schoolcraft like 4 years ago, and it's a completely different system. So I had to learn that, but also had to go in and see when deadlines were and like different links, how to submit all my homework. So just staying organized with just like logistic things, but also trying to stay organized with like, okay, I need to read this article, take this test, but then also I have a speech to give. There were so many different things. So I think that was something that I needed to learn and learn quick. If you hear some thumping, it's my mom next door. I'm in her bathroom and she's in the closet cleaning, so I'm sorry about that. But this semester went great. I finished the semester, all my classes. I didn't see what my GPA was, but I got a 91% or higher in all my classes. I took a speech class, a human development class, Spanish, and I also took health. And so all of that was a doozy. I had lots of papers to do in human development, but other than that, every class, thankfully, had just like this is what we do every week, but just the material switches. So I got into that rhythm, but it was a very humbling experience because I don't know everything. So it was great learning new things, and also things that will help me with the degree when I get into the actual early childhood development program. So I'm going to actually be in school a lot longer than I realized. And I'm thinking like right now in life that I'm learning that I'm trying to get like results in like super quick, but I need to learn the beauty of like the process of things. And so in my mind, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be 30 when I graduate. That's 4 years from now. But I'm like, hey, I'm gonna be 30. Like I'm gonna be just starting my 30s. I'm not figuring this out at 40 or 50, which is totally fine to go back to school at those ages, but I'm still young and I need to learn how to slow down and to work for results, not always trying to get results right away. That is something that us young people or people in our later 20s have to realize, that there's just so much beauty in process. It only adds to your character. It only benefits you. It never really takes away from you. And I think for me, I'm like, oh, but I wanted to do this and this and this, but now I'm going to be so consumed with school. But my outlook on life right now is that if I put the hard work in now, later on, when in my early 30s, when a lot of people have told me they still didn't know what they were doing in their early 30s, I'll at least have something that I can look forward to, that I worked for and worked towards in my 20s. And so I'm just grateful that I'm starting now and not later, when things might be a little bit harder. Families could be involved, husbands could be involved, health things could be involved, you never know. But right now it's just me, I'm healthy, and I have the tenacity to do these things. And so I'm just going to do it, you guys. And so I'm encouraging any of you guys who are thinking about going back to school, do it. Get the scholarships, get all the information that you need, take the classes that only you need to take, make sure you get a good counselor, good advisor, and just do it. And before you know it, the time is going to just be, it's going to fly by. The fall, I'll actually be on campus, which will be different because I was solely online this semester. So I'm excited about it. We'll see what happens. But once we cross that bridge, I'll let y'all know how that's going. So far, school is going great and work is going great. All right, the very final and last thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about is my relationship. The last video, I think I posted somewhere between January, February, and I was just starting out with this dating relationship with a guy named Joshua. And I just want to update you guys that it's going so well still, and I am like really excited about it. Our relationship has just like grown and progressed so quickly, and we got to thinking about it a while back, and I think it's because of the fact that I was not working when we first started our dating relationship. He was working, but because I wasn't, I was able to go and be with him and see him so much the first couple months of us dating, which kind of just like accelerated the whole process for us. We have been talking about marriage. We have been talking about future things, because y'all know I don't date to date. We date to get married, okay? We have gotten so much confirmation from the Lord that this is exactly what He wants for us, and so we're making moves toward that direction. So you never know, I could be on this channel soon with talking to y'all about a proposal. There have obviously been lots of times where I did not think it was going to happen, and I know that sounds very dramatic, but if there's any girls that are watching and you want a godly relationship, you know and understand that, especially because I live in a really small town but surrounded by bigger areas, so it's hard. I'm trying to figure out how to get in those groups to find guys and to meet people, but it was very hard to do so. And so in my mind, I had exhausted every prospect in my life, and I know that the Lord could bring anybody in my life, but it took me a long time to realize that, hey, like, God is God and He's sovereign and He can do anything He wants to do in your life. And so when He brought Joshua in, it was funny because I was praying for a guy like Joshua to come into my life, but I didn't realize he was going to come in at such a chaotic moment in time in my life. I had heard things like, oh, you have to have yourself together, you got to be whole, you got to be this and that. But then after he came into my life and I was sharing this with another person that I look up to, she was just like, again, God knows all things, and He knew that this somehow was going to be the perfect time for this man to come into your life. And now looking back on it and the state that I was in, He helped heal so many different things that were on the inside of me with just His love, with just Him spending time with me, just Him quietly holding my hand in the car, just Him sitting there and listening to all the things that I was worried and had anxiety about. And He came into this tornado of a life and somehow sat so patiently and gave me so much grace, and was just so comfortable sitting in all the mess. And He was just kind of like that, the quiet in the storm in a way. And so He is the most gentle, the most kind, courageous, hardworking, godly man that I have come in contact with. And I just cannot wait to share him with you guys on the channel. And I know that we want to do how we met videos and all that stuff, so stay tuned for those. But he is everything, and I'm so in love with him. Those are my updates. I'm really excited about spring and summer because I only have one class, and now I'm back in the swing of things with work and knowing that schedule and being more comfortable with that. So my goal, and I know I've made a lot of promises on this channel, but my goal is to learn consistency when it comes to doing YouTube, because I want to. This is something that I love to do, love talking and sharing my life with you guys. So my goal is to just post at least one video a week. If you follow me on social media, Facebook, Instagram, you'll know as soon as a video is posted, but you could also subscribe and hit the bell. That way you know when it's posted on YouTube. But I love all of you guys, but God loves you so much more, and I am so excited for all that is in store this summer. I love you guys. Bye.